Leon slash Maldris. See you guys soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Some Dicing with Death. Ryan, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. If you want to hear more about how I'm doing, or at least what my stream of consciousness is doing, we just did a little Twitch pre-show, catching up and shooting the shit. So I think we're ready to hop right into some Dicing with Death, unless you have anything else to update us on.
No, we just gotta do a recap. Is all.
Yeah, that's where. How is?
Actually, I do have one thing before we get to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fatal One is ready to go. We are taking party submissions starting yesterday. There is a post on reddit.com/r/Koibu. It's like stickied at the top in green about Fatal One and how to get a party together to go and die in the dungeon. So if you're interested in that, that is now available. Okay, now let's do Dicing with Death.
Yeah, no, I'm hyped for Fatal One.
Yeah, I think there's going to be like a Frozen Frontier crew that runs at once.
Yeah, we probably won't be the first to do it. Oh yeah, we're actually, it's launching during Frozen Frontier's time slot this weekend, right?
Saturday. Not this weekend, because we're playing this Saturday.
Oh, we're playing
Sunday.
This weekend, and then the weekend
after. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we'll hype it even more. Cool. Yeah, awesome. D&D. So tell us about Maldris's. I mean,
man,
you can just
it's been it's been a rough couple of weeks or days for Maldris here, for Leon. He was left in this town. I'm trying to figure out the name. I got a whole bunch of notes.
Are you talking most recently, or
most recently? Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't give it much of I may be able to find a name written down somewhere, but it doesn't really matter. It was some dockside town right on this river.
Yeah, it was some riverside, lakeside town.
Swamp water.
Something like that. And Leon...
And there were a couple of them, remember? I mean, like, you had a couple stops on this ferry down river.
So Leon's leaving Ashenholt. He's trying to get to the coast. He's trying to find a way off of this island that... people don't come after him for being a witch, and so the Goldsmiths Union doesn't come after him. And he's kind of been, like, jumping at shadows from the Goldsmiths Union this entire time. I think I actually saw one person that I recognized from them. But, like, every time Leon stops for a day or so, he's always like, my God, they're right around the corner. They're after me. And without even having seen any signs of them being after him. So he's, like, being chased by shadows that only he can see. And he ran out of money on his way to the ocean side. And kind of just got screwed and had this like whole heist plan, and then got so excited for the heist that he like launched it a day early, which shot him in the foot. And when even though he got out with money, he kind of like got screwed. And so then he wandered around for ages, got lost wandering through the docks, got lost wandering over in between towns. And I think I have eventually murdered a few more people that came after me, killed some guards. And I think do we end with getting on a boat and heading for the seaside?
Yeah, so that's why I was giving you more free reign to describe Leon. You've made it free and clear of most of that. You made enough money to buy ferry passage the rest of the way to Westport, is the name of the city. Right. So you're on this ferry. I mean, we can skip. I'll need a few seconds to try and see if I can pull up like a picture we can use for the new city page. But like a new get you a new Roll20 picture or something. But so yeah, I mean, you're on this ferry. I think you have like a day or a night. Did you get on I think at night, and you got at least until the next day.
Yeah.
To catch your breath and reflect.
Woo.
And then we'll head into a new city.
What a pain in the butt.
Which
I've moved over to a clipboard-based character sheet, and I'm very excited about it.
You mean
I'm
retrogressed?
unreasonably excited about this clipboard-based character sheet.
Nice, and then you can like attach all. That's actually a really good idea. How did we never?
So I'll have like my Dice with Death is on this one, and where'd it go? Oh, they fell out. Haha. Frozen Frontier plus the Frozen Frontier calendar is on this clipboard, and what I want to do is I'm going to get like a little pulley type thing, like a retractable tether, and mount it on my wall, and then have a hook and come to this, so I can like pull the clipboard with the character sheets, look at what I need, and then just like let it go, and it'll just like go back to the wall. And then if I'm going to a different show, I just like switch out the thing that's hooked onto this retractable tether.
Save it for the pre-show, Neal. What is this shit? Clipboards?
Yeah,
That's actually pretty
retractable
awesome.
clipboards on tethers that are
I don't know
always
why
out
I
of the way.
didn't clipboards. I don't know why I didn't use clipboards when we used to play like pen and paper.
Because we were children and we were stupid. That's the...
Fair enough.
I mean, maybe not stupid, but just... We didn't have the world understanding we do these days.
Yeah. So, you've got a day. I don't know if it's like a regular day. It might be overnight, but you've got a 12-hour stretch to get into character here. Maybe, I mean, if you don't want to dig into Leon's backstory at all, you can maybe describe what Maldris is up to on the ship here. Right.
Maldris is tucked away in whatever little corner of solitude he can find, with his spellbook open to the Read Magic page, which he's been trying to learn for ages now. He's been trying to learn.
So you don't have a private cabin.
That I am like tucked away.
You're trying to hide this sorcery from the.
I am less concerned
passengers.
with... I'm more concerned about people just kind of like leaving me alone. Like, I don't want to be having conversation. So I want to be like tucked away in the way where my body language says, I'm doing my own thing, leave me be. I'm not really too concerned about people actually seeing the spellbook, possibly surprisingly, because I figured if they saw it, it would just look like gibberish to them. It could just be any other language. Unless there's something on the outside of the spellbook that makes it look like it's magical, I'm not too concerned.
I gave a pretty vague description, and I was kind of gonna let. Nah, I don't know. We'd given only a vague description of the spellbook, but I think even a book would be looked at with distrust in this setting.
Oh,
right?
Is that how?
Right. I mean, we've established that witches are hunted and viewed with suspicion, if not contempt, right? I mean, that was the first job that we started this campaign with, right? First job.
All right,
I think, I mean, at least with suspicion, it would draw eyes, right? And like, not everyone's going to be literate. I don't think it's going to be quite the bleak wasteland of stupidity that is a Neal campaign, but yeah. So I think you'll need to roll something to study spells in secret and this is essentially public.
Okay.
Right?
Well, if carrying a book is that suspicious, will draw that much attention.
I'll give you. Yeah, it would be noted, right? And you are.
I appreciate you telling me that. I think Leon is trying to keep his head low. He did just murder a bunch of people and cast a bunch of spells and stuff. So he's going to keep his head low, keep his book wrapped in his backpack.
Like I said, you've got 12 hours. You've got overnight. I mean, it's not inconceivable that you can find a dark corner to look at your book. I was just establishing if that's what it was, and then I would probably make you roll to see how well you...
No, Leon's afraid.
Okay.
He is...
So what does a scared Leon do for 12 hours on a boat? Do you have spells memorized? Are you wounded at all?
I am... My notes say I'm at full HP. I am surprised by that. My spells memorized are Chill Touch, Shocking Grasp, and Taunt. I suppose I've already cast Fist of Stone then. Yeah, that must be it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
level 3, so I should have 2 second level spells and 2 first level spells and 1 second level spell. Plus my specialty spells, which would be Fist of Stone, but those are both burned, and I think I used a second level spell slot as a first level spell slot, and that's why I have these 3. Okay.
All right. So you're actually doing all right.
Yeah.
I think you had a couple of days between the last series. There were some fishermen that was that who recognized you?
Yeah. We made short work of them.
I think it was a fisherman from whatever that swampside village was.
Yeah.
Bogside.
Well,
right.
now we're on this boat. So,
okay. So you want to fast forward?
I just want Leon to take a rest. He did sort of get a rest in that last town, but this is maybe the first real rest he's had in a while, where he's on a boat again. No one can get on or off this boat without him really, without it stopping. And this time there's no, weird fox guy who's going to steal all of Leon's money on the boat. So he can just, kick his feet up, take a moment, relax, and just float down the river.
All right. I think you doze into a short and fitful sleep and wake up as you pull into port. Westport, in fact. I still don't have a new Roll20 page to switch to. Usually I just grab some random Creative Commons photograph that strikes my fancy, but I'm having trouble searching said databases. So we're still on this random doc picture.
Okay, I appreciate that you use Creative Commons stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Scientific publishing has made me paranoid about such things.
Yes. Wondering if I should ask about it, or if it would be better just to have plausible deniability.
No, I think you probably tend to. I think I tend to even be more aware than you, and you're supposed to be the professional here.
I don't know where you get that judgment of the situation from, but as long as you are holding up your end of the deal, it's fine.
You're getting saucy. I like that. I think you're getting into Maldris's character. So Westport is probably. It's a similar size to Ashenholt, but it's a full-on city, and certainly more compact. It's a small walled port city. There are sprawling farmhouses and whatnot that bleed over the walls into the countryside. I think you probably slept through much of those.
Mm-hmm.
And this ferry pulls into the docks. You can smell the sea, hear seabirds. So it is indeed a port city, and you probably would have heard some stuff. I mean, how I don't know. Do you want to tell me, or maybe?
Yeah, Leon. I mean, he can't sleep for 12 hours straight.
I'm thinking what you may have heard about Westport.
Oh, what
because it is. Let me check my map. I don't.
Well, the big question here is Westport under control of the Bastard of Ashenhold?
I think that specific information is going to require that's a question, right? And
got it.
In Leon's mind now, yeah, for sure. I don't think you know. I don't think have you ever been here? So
I've never been here.
Distances from my crude sketch, but we're talking probably it's a triangle. It's not directly connected to Seagate. It's it's a coastal city down from there, but we're probably talking less than 100 miles. So I don't know that you wouldn't. I mean, would you have been here? So this is the ports. It's basically it's a small podunk.
Leon's a city boy. He grew up in Seaport. He spent his whole life in Seaport. His mom
Seagate.
I'm sorry. His mom was a prostitute in a cheap brothel in Seagate, and Leon spent his whole life there. This is the furthest he's ever been from home before. I think that mission to go beat that wizard and bring him back to the Goldsmiths Union was the first time he'd really left the city.
Okay, but you certainly would have heard of Westport. It is a smaller, slightly more. I don't know if industrial is the word, because I don't know if we've had an industrial revolution, but Slightly more industrial port city, just south. Well, now you're in it. It looks. I mean, you can hear the hubbub of a thriving medieval port. So it seems as if business is running as you pull into Westport. By industry, I mean things like logging and I don't know, but you can see and like mining types of things. A lot of that comes down the river out through Westport. So that's what you're seeing more of a docks than a people port. But your ferry pulls up and unloads y'all people.
All right. Well, I hop out.
Docks. I think more in the city center, so you can looking out maybe like down through the city. I mean, you can see the masts of ships out at sea.
Mm-hmm.
But you're sort of placed in the center of it.
Jan takes a look around.
We can still establish more about it. So I haven't done a whole lot of work on the city, other than Chat and I planning out the most important part. So a lot of this is still going to be me making it up as I go along or rolling it up as I go along. So if there's anything you wish to establish now as you're stepping off the ferry into the middle of the city, speak now or forever hold your peace. Right. So if you want to roll a history check to give me input as to what this place's deal is, or any of your other relevant skills, like is there a thieves guild presence here, right? It may have been.
I would expect that there is a goldsmiths union presence in every city, every town of note. I would expect to have some sort of goldsmiths union presence.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I would do, the only thing that I really care about is that this place has ships that go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like leave the whole island. Because that's why we're here. We're here to get off this godforsaken island, away from the people who are hunting me. I can feel nipping at my heels, away from the bastard Vashenholtz men who just want to murder me because now I'm a spellcaster. In fact, everyone just murders me because now I have spells. Also, there's no spells here, and I'm having trouble learning some spells. So, Leon's goals are find someone to help him learn read magic, and get off the island. Those are his two goals right now. I think he needs to get off the island to find someone who will help him learn things, right? I can't imagine he's going to run into another spellcaster walking around. These guys are rare.
The fan of the wood didn't do it for you?
They were worthless. It has nothing to do with the terrible rolls that I made during the time. It was entirely their fault.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're in Westport. Tell me where you go. I should keep looking for. By the time I come up with a cool looking, well, I imagine we'll spend a lot of the session here. So
first things first, Leon is going to make his way to a tavern.
Yeah. Stipulations on this tavern. I assume you will be avoiding union taverns.
If possible, yes. If I can tell what a union tavern looks like, I want out of that.
Yeah, you. Oh no, you're not you're just you were muscle for them, so you don't actually have. So I would, if you had thieves can't, I think I would assume that you can automatically.
I do have thieves can't.
Oh, that's right. I let you take that as a proficiency. Yep. So I think you with that you would know, especially maybe there would be some chance if we're a rival gang.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the union that you I don't know if grew up is the word, but you were an enforcer for a good many years. So you would spot a union. You would see like the sign of it's goldsmith, right? So there's probably it's probably a little symbol made of gold. Like there'd be like a little golden hammer smashing a little, I don't know, little swish thing.
Mm-hmm.
As if to advertise a goldsmith. I mean, yeah, they're typically union. It's typically like masquerading as a jeweler, right?
Right.
Although there are union-approved pubs, I guess, that would have like where union business goes on. So you could identify that if you found one. Conversely, you can avoid it. Sure, you may stumble past it, but you'll know before you go in. So
right.
And yes, indeed, the first tavern that you find has that clearly emblazoned. Not clearly emblazoned. There's just a little subtle that symbol painted in gold at the corner. It almost looks like a punctuation mark at the end of the name of the tavern. But you're like, nope, that's
a goldsmith mark right there. Yep,
yeah.
Know that one.
So you can keep walking on past.
Yep, I want to walk on past that one. I want to find. I'm looking for a lower class establishment. I'm looking for a dive bar, the sort of place where you might find people with strongly held beliefs who are ready to execute them very quickly, or at least to yell about them at the medieval equivalent of a TV screen.
So it sounds like you're looking for a union bar, but that just won't do.
Right.
And I think where the ferries dropped off, it's a little set back from like the shipping docks, to like the main harbor, and it's probably the nicer part of town, the center, the safest part of town. The guards probably nearby, and there's like it's not like taverns, it's like inns or something. And so I think you walk past those around the corner. The first real tavern you find is clearly marked Union Tavern.
All right, I'll move on to the next tavern.
So you walk down like the main drag, like through a rather impressive looking market square. There doesn't look like there's a whole ton of business going. Maybe it's just the time or like the time or the day of week that you're here. But these large stone and brick buildings. And then a little away from that, you're able to find a suitably I wouldn't say raucous because it's first thing in the morning, but suitably sketchy tavern.
All right. I got a plan. I'm going to make an entrance here, and I'm going to find out whether this town belongs to the Duke of Seagate or the Bastard of Ashenholt. So I'm going to, a la, if you've ever seen the movie, The Patriot. I'm going to open the door, stand in the doorway, and call out into the middle of the tavern, "The gods save the great Duke of Seagate!" And look for the reaction of the people in there. Are they pissed? Are they happy? Do they cheers me? Do they throw things at me? What do they do?
It's a more muted response than you actually would have expected. Make me a charisma check, actually.
I don't roll charisma checks with pen and paper with real dice. I do this. Ugh.
That's really close. I mean, no one. It's a muted response. There are a few eyes. I mean, it's a bunch of like. Maybe it's a lot of sailors that have just gotten in off the boat and are starting their binge early in the morning, or a few like people that work here grabbing breakfast and whatever. So there are a few pints are raised. No one jeers at you. No one goes through their knives.
All right, but there's some pints raised, so I nod approvingly, step on in, and shut the door behind me, thinking that this is run by or held by the Duke of Seagate. Which is great, because that means I don't have to deal with the Bastard of Ashenholt, whose people have been, witch burning.
Yeah. Do you have any skills relevant to heraldry is probably the closest we've got in D&D terms. Or unless you've got some sort of there's no politicking proficiency.
No, but I do have an unused proficiency slot that I haven't assigned yet.
I don't think you're going to assign it in the scene in order to get a freebie of information on.
That's not the way that I play.
Yeah. So Leon, barges on into this tavern, and your assumption that this is a Seagate held port is validated. At least to your satisfaction. Did you run out of rations, or were you still?
I am out of rations. Yep.
Okay, so I assume you buy food and a room, or just food? What are you trying to do here?
I'm gonna. So first off, I just wanted to establish who runs this town. vaguely speaking. Now that I've done that, I need to find a way to sell my 15 pounds of silverware and goblets that I have.
That's
and
what we're
my
doing.
beautiful unsheathed lord's longsword.
You broke the blade, right? So this is the pommel of
Right.
the Lord of Ditchwater, or whatever the hell that.
Right.
No, that was. What was that town's name? Was it Dockside?
It could have been dockside or
I
lakeside,
don't know.
riverside.
Some bog lord, some lord with his squishy land, hills and the moors. Probably decent farming land. I don't know. Maybe a good place to be a lord. Maybe
Agriculture and dragons, our favorite thing of all. But it really is. Yeah, so I've got that pommel, and I've got these 15 pounds
so
of things.
you're probably not I mean, you could go to a union contact for sure and get the stuff pawned, but you're probably at a loss for how to fence these goods. The goldsmiths have a monopoly on the underbelly of this kingdom. So Leon's got to sit down and think here with the whatever drinks he gets. How much is it for a room and a day's worth of meals and drinks? 5 silver, unless you're planning on living it up.
Oh god, it's so expensive. Okay. So he gets some drinks, gets some food, settles down in his corner, and starts kind of like just making like marks on the table with his finger, right? Like as if he's writing to himself, but he's not actually putting anything down. He's just kind of like using it as a visual cue to help aid his thoughts. And he's looking at it and he's like, okay, so and this is internal, he's not saying this aloud. If I find a sea captain, maybe I can just offer him a bag of assorted loot. And like maybe that can cover my passage. It's probably way more money than my passage would actually be worth. But like, maybe if I just give him a whole bag of assorted valuables that are worth way more than my value, he'll just look the other way and take it. Or maybe I can try and do a quick fence here at the Union. I mean, like, I'm pretty far from home. You know, like, I had a crew cut black haircut when I left. It's been almost a month now. So it's probably grown out a little bit. I probably have like some scruff coming in. It's been like a month of like facial hair growing in. Maybe I could like go get cleaned up at a barber and just like trim it and then like have him do something with my hair a little bit differently. And then I could maybe try and like do some trading here at the Union and just hope they don't notice me. I don't know how the hell they would notice me. None of these people have ever seen me before. I guess there might be pictures, but, you know, my hair and face has changed enough. It might work. Or I could just, like, hand over this stuff. Well, first off, before any of that gets done, I think I need to go down to the docks and figure out if there are ships leaving town.
Okay. I mean, so you forked over the 5 silver?
Yeah.
Okay. So the barmaid will slap down a bowl of fish stew and an ale in front of you.
Give him like a questionable look as like, this is what you're serving me? Okay.
That's what they're serving. You may be able to ask for some bread or something from the back, but no, that's what we're dealing with here. So I assume you eat and drink and replenish yourself. Apparently Leon's not a fan of fish stew, but
Neal's not a fan of fish stew, so Leon's not a fan of fish stew.
And then you sort of think over your refreshments and then head to the dock. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Woo. Man, I speak a lot of languages.
You're a smart boy.
I really am. Yeah, so I'm going to head down to the dock, and I'm going to see if I can find a ship that is going somewhere else. What is the name of this island that I'm on?
The Southern Isles are what it would have been referred to. This is really the... Think of it as like along the lines of like the British Isles or something like that, right? So
Okay.
it's called an island, but it's fairly large, right? The size of a county. I mean, how much of the geography would Leon be familiar with, having never left Seagate?
Very little.
Seagate's not the seat of the kingdom. The lord of, like you said, it's a duchy, right?
Mm.
Actually, counties are larger than duchies, right?
You know, these things are not well defined.
I have established this, but I always get it confused.
Usually duchies are bigger than counties, right? Because a duke is higher up than a count.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, the Seagate is the seat of the duchy, which extends over this island, which is a large island.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another isle adjacent where apparently there's a king or something. I don't know how plugged into. I don't think Leon is particularly plugged into these sorts of politics, but those are the vagaries that you would know. So you would probably want to get away from this whole little island. What's the name for a cluster of islands? Like an archipelago, but
I don't know.
Don't matter.
A fractal of islands?
Yeah, maybe keep entertaining us with Leon's thought process as I...
So, my gear is down to not a lot. I've got the clothes on my back, my backpack, a spell book, a dagger, one water skin, a random knife, and then all of this loot that I've got. So I don't really have much. Not in the way of stuff.
Have you tried to find a way to rememorize your spell slot, fill your spell slot, or have you just kept your book in its
I've
bag?
just kept my book. I'm not going to rememorize my spell slot until I've got some privacy.
Okay. Is there any shopping you need to do as you walk your way through the city, or are you going straight to the docks?
I don't have anything in particular that I'm doing. I also don't really know my way around. So it's not so much like a beeline to the docks as it is like a meander through the town trying to find the docks and like not asking for directions until it's been too long and then asking for directions and realizing I'm going the wrong way and then heading the correct way.
Mm-hmm. You do stop to ask for directions. I mean, yeah.
And only if I get lost.
Okay. I think you can smell the sea air.
I make a 23 on my perception check. I can find the seaside.
Yeah. You catch a glimpse down a street with just the right like elevation and angle to like see the harbor clearly. Mm-hmm. And you're able to weave your way through these medieval alleys and at least head in the direction of the docks.
Okay.
I'm trying to...
You said that the kingdom was more than the southern islands, right? Or the kingdom is the islands?
Yes. So this island that you're on is one of the southern islands. This iron island, more or less in its entirety, there are probably smaller islands or whatever off the coast that it holds. But this island composes the county, the duchy of Seagate.
Right, and the southern islands are the whole kingdom, though.
Yes. There's a king. That's your impression, that there's a king that presides over this island.
So it's
as
not
well
like the
as
kingdom's
other...
on the mainland and they also own islands. It's like
no.
The kingdom is the island. Okay. Do we know the name of this kingdom?
The kingdom of the Southern Isles, right?
Okay.
It's the fucking kingdom. I don't know. What do you? It's the king. It's the only kingdom you've ever lived in, right? So I don't know that you
know its name.
I mean, the names we've been using for it are just fine. Is what I'm saying. We're talking about it.
All right, so I'll head on down towards the docks and take a moment to bask in the size of the ships that are around me. Brian, tell me there are large ships that could leave the Southern Isles.
You can see them from in the harbor, but you haven't gotten there yet.
Perfect. So I guess I'm like not down in the harbor yet, but like walking towards it and paused in some street, like observing the harbor down below me.
I'll give up on finding the perfect picture. I can't even find any. Like, it seems like the Creative Commons search that I usually use is like down and not responding, and it's bumming me out. But we'll look at this dinky little dock instead of a lovely medieval port city. We can just not show the viewers what I have on the Roll20 screen. It doesn't matter. Use the other splash. So you know which direction the harbor is. You got a sight of it from a hill a couple of blocks back. You weave your way through cobbled street and alley. And find your way impeded. Like you're pretty sure that that you're heading in the right direction. But turning down an alley, you see a pair of figures like blocking the way forward. And it was kind of I don't know. You've got maybe 30 feet in front of you as you like turn this corner, and you're like, oh, pretty sure this is the right way. But blocking most of the alley are a couple of boxes with a couple of men. One of them is likely the biggest son of a bitch you've ever seen.
I kind of give the fellow a polite nod and look to see if there's a way past them, or if this is it.
Nah, they're pretty clearly blocking the alley.
All right, Leon's used to this game. He knows what's going on here. He's blocked alleys in his time before. Gentlemen.
I love the picture you sent me, Neal.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? Gentlemen, you had better not be stopping me from where I need to go.
All right. The shorter of the two looks up at you. He's got pale yellow skin and a once fine suit that's now just caked with salt. He smiles, revealing some twinkling fillings. He says, blocking your way, that depends who you are. And he jumps on, he's standing on top of a box, so he's sort of looking at your height. He's rather short, and he looks you up and down.
I will slip in a little bit of thieves' cant to let them know I'm a member of the Goldsmiths Union. Something to be like, well, a gilded lily like myself goes where he wants most of the time, so what are you doing in my way?
Lily of the ditch. Well, we here's salty lilies of the sea. So, as cousins, you know how this goes. No one leaves port without a nod from the guild.
No one's leaving port. Haven't even gotten to the port. Can't leave what you haven't gotten to.
He looks side to side, and you're pretty. I mean, you've worked with these types before. You're pretty sure he's going to expect at least a bribe to like get past him. It seems like you've logicked your way out of it. It seems like if you tell him you're not going to leave port, he's probably allowed to let you pass, but he's clearly going to expect a bribe.
Right, which is fair. I'm not sure what the correct bribe price is. Would Leon know what the?
It's been a little while. You know the going rate in Seagate from however many months ago. Right. But you'd probably have to roll to guess the perfect bribe price. Otherwise, you can just tell me a number.
I'm just gonna guess. That's way more fun. Okay. I'll dig around in my pocket and pull out 4 silver coins and politely hand them over. Like
4 silver. Is it? Yeah. Do you try to hide that these are silver? These are 4 silver coins.
I'll dig the coins out of my pocket and then just like extend my hand so you can't see what they are until he puts his hand under mine and I drop the silver into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You drop the silver in his hands, and he looks at them with disgust. This is, I mean, this wouldn't even have been. I mean, you probably assumed that this is, this ain't Seagate. This is Westport. 5 silver. Yeah, I mean, in Seagate, someone like this probably would have expected gold.
Right.
But
this is the
down
shitty
here
little. Yeah. I
nonetheless,
know that this is on the lower side.
He appears offended. And
That's
you're not sure
what I'm going for.
You don't. I don't think you spot the signal, but at his look of offense, you see the large man stand up for the first time, and he is big. Like, I mean, you could roll to estimate, but when you're telling the story in the tavern later, you'd swear he's 8 feet tall, and he's only got one eye, and the other just is this nasty sick scar across his face. The hair on his forearms looks like it bristles as he stands up. Not overtly aggressive, but I mean he seemed to react to the little man's look of disgust. Nah,
I'm sorry, did I give you guys too much? Have you not seen silver before? I know the people from, the South are a little bit more common, and that in your hand is silver. It's a coin more valuable than copper.
You know what I'm going to say?
If you want to give me some change, that's fine too. It might be overwhelming for you.
You know what I'm going to say? Roll me a charisma check.
Where's my deck? Here it is. 19. Oh, how perfect.
That sounds really close.
Yeah.
I think there's a really uncomfortable chuckle. They take it as a joke, but they're still not gonna. They're not gonna take your silver to let them pass. So you're on their wavelength. They got your sense of humor, but you're gonna need to pay more. Look, the typical.
Boys, I don't mean to shock you, but I have business that I need to get to, and if you want to make a case out of this, we can do that too, I say, as Leon huffs off his backpack, sets it down, and begins to roll up his sleeves.
What happened to the silver coins?
They're in the guy's hands.
They're in his hands?
Oh yeah.
I think he tries to go to give them back, or he did. I mean, he doesn't say anything, but
Right.
They were between hands, and he tries to push them back to you. Would you have accepted them back?
Rather than accept them back, I want to grab his wrist, and twist it and pull him towards me. I want to grab him and take him as my hostage against the big guy. That's what I want to do.
I can't roll on slanted tables, can I?
No.
I'll go with what it started as a 1, and then it tilted to a 9. But I realized that I'm on a drafting table. It's 45 degrees, maybe a little 20 degrees or something. I'll let you stick with the 1. So he's surprised. You can make a free roll to hit, or at least we'll call it an ambush.
Okay. This is just a grab attack then. So that's going to be D20 plus 2 plus 1 for surprise. That is a 22. Oh, that's great. It's just a grab of the wrist and a yank towards me with the arm around his neck. So I grab him in a headlock. And then I look at the big guy.
Do you do that? Do you do any damage, or is that just a grapple?
No. I'm just trying to grapple him, and then once I've got my left arm around his throat, this might have to be the next round action. Whatever you want to decide on that is fine. And then
roll for
draw
initiative
a
from
dagger
there.
As hey, I
you
got
pull him close, and he's looking you face to face. His eyes look almost the same sickly pale yellow as his skin, and he snarls at you, looking down a long pointed nose.
The big guy?
No, the little one.
The little one that I have held.
You have grappled. Yeah, you pull it. Oh, you don't get to turn him around. Okay. I mean, you get a grip of his forearm, and you're yanking him towards you.
Okay.
And he looks you face to face, and he says, "I thought you looked familiar." As he stares you down, a little scruffier than the sketch. But I think at this point, going to roll for initiative.
Well, buddy, you just ensured your death.
Yeah.
I was going to let you live. That should actually probably be a +3. That should be a 5.
Okay. Either way, you get the jump. So do you wish to turn this guy around at this point?
Yep, that's what I want to do. I've got him by the wrist. I want to turn him into my grip, and then draw a dagger and hold it to him as like a threatening gesture to the bigger guy.
So you want to like ready in action to stab him or something with a dagger?
Well, first I want to make sure I can get him to my person. Get him like turned
you've
around
already got
and
him held. He hasn't even had a chance to act.
Okay.
No, you're able to pull him towards you, turn him around, get a dagger to the throat, ready in action to...
Sure, then I will ready in action to stab him, should the big guy make a threatening gesture.
The little guy's got his hands up. No need to be hasty. And you look up at the big guy for the first time and see him like lurching towards you. He was almost as quick to act as you.
All right, well, I will, start the dagger poking in the throat as he comes closer.
So he is going to accost you. Would you like to trigger your dagger attack?
Yes, I definitely do. D20 plus 2 for level. I'm sorry, plus 1 for level. Plus 2 for back attack. Maybe is it plus 4 for held instead of plus 2 for back attack?
Say that again. Plus.
I have him like I'm holding him.
Plus 4 for held.
Okay, 4 for held.
Or
1
I can
for
include
level.
that in the AC.
Held overwrites back attack. There's no other bonuses that I can think of on this guy, so D20 plus 5. Oh, natural 19. Modified 24. Against gentlemen in no armor and 0 dex because he's held.
That's a crit.
Oh. Does this... Oh, I'm not a thief. I don't have backstab. 2d4. Are we doing crazy Neal crit system, or are we doing like standard crit system?
Let's just do a standard.
Okay.
Well, yeah, just do a standard.
So
crit.
it's not going to be like murder faced too quickly.
That's
5
actually
points
not
of
that...
damage.
You get strength bonus, don't you?
0.
Really? What's your strength?
15.
Oh, bummer.
It's only 18-100 when I Fist of Stone. So I just like skewer the guy and then look back at the big guy who's coming towards me.
He doesn't actually die, so we need to resolve those crits in a little more detail. So I'm debating whether to go to a table or whether to go to Neal crits. I think shall we use the combat and tactics table?
Sure. It's been ages since we did that.
Yeah. Okay. So, slashing versus humanoid. I'll probably just give you an auto 10 for head.
Yep.
And let you roll your severity. I think it's...
I think it's D6 because my weapon is a size smaller than he is. Same size as 2d4. Weapon size smaller is 1d6.
Yeah, he's small, but not in a mechanical sense.
Yeah.
Still a medium-sized creature, even if he's barely 5 feet.
Okay. So
or
D6
less.
for severity. 3. Oh.
No unusual effect. Bummer.
Yeah. Bums.
Yeah, so I think you botched the... I guess you've still got him held. But I think what happens is the big man like collides with you as you're doing this, right? This is your reaction to him lunging for you. You didn't really see this. You didn't expect him to go at you.
Yeah, I kind of thought he would stand back. I didn't expect him to go ahead and risk his buddy's life.
He towers over you, lurches forward. You manage to like roll out of the way. He goes colliding with the box that the little guy was standing on. Mm-hmm. But I think you were shaken enough that like you slipped with your knife. You gave him a cut across the side of his neck, but you didn't hit anything lethal, even with a crit. And that's that. The little guy is going to struggle with your grip. Roll an opposed strength check.
27.
27. Yeah, you squeeze tight, and he's got no chance.
Okay. I know what I'm gonna do next round.
Do you now?
I do. I just have to check what components it needs.
Okay.
Loading the whole spell list takes forever. Too
Yeah,
much information. There we go. Shocking grasp, shocking grasp, shocking, somatic and verbal. I can't cast shocking grasp while holding this guy with one arm, can I?
I think I'll allow it.
All right.
Like, it doesn't have any material components.
No, just somatic and verbal.
And like, it's specifically because it's like a hand touch attack spell. You've got your hand on him.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it makes it easier. I mean, but yeah, you can cast the spell while grappling. I don't think I would let you cast the spell and not use it on the guy that you're grappling with.
Right.
And obviously, if he goes first, he can certainly interrupt. But so what's your initiative?
My initiative is 7. Which is not great, to be honest.
That's greater than than your esteemed colleagues.
That is bad for me then.
Sorry, I'm better than your esteemed colleagues.
Ah, fantastic. Well then, I will chant the words to Shocking Grasp as I hold this guy, and there's maybe like a twisted smile playing out over Leon's face as the incantations come to a close, and as the electricity begins to spark off of his hand that's already on the guy.
Yeah, the wispy hairs on his balding head stand on end. He looks in horror. You look with, I don't know, how does Mal just look while he shocks people to death?
He looks like he's enjoying it. It looks like he is enjoying the electrical discharge that runs through him into this other guy for 5 more points of damage.
He twitches and spasms. Does Shocking Grasp have any other effects?
Nope. D8 plus 1 point per level of damage.
Mm-hmm.
While the wizard must come close enough to lay his hand on an opponent body or upon an electrical conduit that touches the opponent's body.
Oh, whoa,
A
I
light
didn't know
touch
that was...
from the opponent does not discharge the spell. So if someone punches me, doesn't discharge, I have to punch them or touch them.
And you can apply strength to this as well. You can
Okay, well I have a 0 strength modifier still, so.
or like a punch to this as well, an unarmed attack.
Ah, okay, I'll do that.
Right, we've established that.
Yeah,
haven't we?
we've
I guess
established
that's
that.
not.
I kind of feel like I understand what you're saying, but I think in this situation I'm holding him, so I
Okay.
don't really have much leverage to punch. I think this is more of like maybe my hand is now around his throat, like comes over his
Well, it
shoulder.
already
and then
was. You already had him grappled. Typically, when you're grappling, you can squeeze for grappling damage each round,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, but that is less of an attack and just an automatic like 1
Yeah, I think
damage.
maybe not. We'll hold off on that because you actually cast the spell this round. Still, he's flailing and struggling. So still roll me a opposed strength check.
23.
Barely enough. He maybe it's like the extra strength from the electricity coursing through his muscles.
Mm-hmm.
He spasms and you struggle to like keep him restrained as you look up, madness in your eyes at the giant of a man bearing down upon you. He picks up like what looks like a plank from a ship or something next to you in the alley and just brings it over his head. We'll see if it comes crashing down on your heads as well. Critical hit.
Oh.
This is bad. This is bad. This is
12
bad,
AC,
Maldris.
but okay.
Yeah, that's a natural 20.
Natural
Yeah.
20.
I really wish I had the Neal dice cam. But is that mirrored? Is that a thing?
No,
It's like upside down.
maybe. It was it's legible.
Okay. That's rough. I think you'll. So I think
I got 21 HP. Bring it on.
This plank of wood just goes shattering over your head. You're taller, so it hits you first, but I think like splinters are gonna finish off the little guy in your arms.
Bring it on.
So we've got We're gonna go. We got 10 points of damage as this board cracks across your head. And roll me a saving throw versus death. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. This could be bad, Neal.
Is it a size large plank or a size medium plank?
I think it's
Gotta be a medium plank, right?
No, it's
this plank is bigger than a long sword. This plank is two-handed sword sized.
Yeah, you're lucky I only gave it club damage, but no, it's certainly of great size. We're gonna go large, bludgeoning versus large. It's that 2D. It's not 2D8, is it?
Large is one size larger is 2d6. Two sizes larger is 2d8.
Yeah, okay, yeah, cool. So let's do
2d6 is still enough to kill a person.
Yeah. Right arm. So I think you get your arm up to take the brunt of the blow, and it just shatters on your arm. Holy cow! I think you just lost your arm, buddy.
What happened to my arm?
I hesitate to read this. I don't know what it even means.
Read it, Brian, read it.
Shoulder shattered, no move or attacks, major bleeding. So
Leon's dead.
No, I mean, it doesn't say no spells.
Sure, no move or attack definitely means no spell casting.
I'm not going to give you a game over, but I think you're going to have to fight for each round of action.
Oh, God.
Because if this is this is balanced for a party, so I'll let you make like Constitution or will checks to like, but you like, if the judging by the splinters given off by the wood, you're sure that your bones are not in much better shape. And this 8-foot man sort of drools over you. I mean, you're in shock, right? I think you go. Well, no, yeah. Let's roll for initiative and take this round by round. Major bleeding is like
D2 points of damage per round, I think.
Yeah, it's not the percentage based one, right?
No, that's severe bleeding.
Damn. Yeah, you're gonna need to quest to get this arm again.
All right, I know exactly what Leon is doing.
4. Cool. So you both roll a 4, but you are much smaller and more nimbly wimbly than this large hulking man. So you can go first. I need. How are you gonna? I mean, you basically your shoulder's shattered. The bones are splinters, and the splinters from the plank of wood are also splinters digging into your body. I think you're laid out flat on your back, with this dead, stinking body on top of you.
He's dead. The guy on me is dead.
This enormous plank of ship was just broken across you. There's no way he didn't get caught in like the critical explosion of. I mean, he was close to dead anyways.
Sure.
It feels like it's raining splinters from the sky, and similar sort of sensation pulsing through your arm. Can you overcome this? Like typically, by the rules, you don't get. I think you just lay on the ground and die until your allies help you. I'm willing.
It says no move or attack.
No move or attacks. Major bleeding. That seems like I'll let you make maybe like a Constitution check or save versus death or a willpower or whatever you wanna, whatever's better for you.
Let's do the willpower check. That's the best that I've got. 18 is not so great.
Yeah, so I think
Leon lays on the ground.
And you bleed. You can, that's what I was looking up. How bleeding damage. There's the bleeding. Minor bleeding is D2 per turn. And major bleeding is D2 per round. So I'll let you make the D2 roll yourself if you'd like.
All right, it's only 1 point. I'm still alive.
Um,
So Leon lays on the ground and like tries to scramble and push himself back down the alleyway away from this guy.
I think you the first round you're stunned by what just happened. This huge looming Cyclops hulks over you and turns his friend like off of you. Like take a look, and it's clear this guy's like there's burn marks from the shocking grasp. I guess it's all to his throat, but his throat is just mangled, and now his back covered in splinters. He's dead. The muscle looks at him. You almost think you see like tear well up in the eye, and then he just turns to you with a drooling, frothing rage. Let's see. Let's roll. I'll give him a morale check at this realization.
That's generous.
But he just clenches down harder and brings a huge fist in your direction. What's your AC?
12 because of my martial arts style D, but if I have no movement, I don't know if that's gonna work.
I don't know. You try to flail to move out of the way, but he just catches you with a fist for 5 points of damage.
Oh God! Come on, Leon. There's still hope.
Roll initiative again.
All right, 5.
Go first.
Willpower check is a natural
critical.
20.
All right, you grimace through the pain. What does Leon do?
He gets up and runs like a little girl. He runs as far and as fast as he can.
Which direction?
The way that the guy is not blocking. If I'm in an alleyway and he's on one side of the alley, I'm going the other way.
So you've got to clear. You came from back behind. I guess now you're laid flat on your back. So you're like scrambling to your feet using your left good arm. Your right arm is hanging limply to your side. Yeah. You have that moment where you look down and you're like, I'm not sure if this is ever going to work again. Like, because it's not responding right now. So you like scooch back with your left hand.
Yep.
But you see a clear shot over the Cyclops. You could go running down the alley the way they were blocking, is what I'm saying. Or you can turn tail and run.
I'm turning tail and running.
Okay.
I'm not getting any closer to the Cyclops or anything. I'm going the other way.
Okay.
I bolt.
You run. His weapon broke on you, so he's got no opportunity to attack. So you can get down the alley. So you step out into, there's people on the street that you step out
I think I burst out into the street with my like shattered arm and bones are sticking out of it.
I think it's mostly, it's not obviously visible. Did you take any other damage? You took a punch. I don't think you're not like bleeding profusely.
I am bleeding profusely. I'm
you
taking
are
D2 points of bleeding damage per round,
your
actually.
cloak is soaking up with blood.
Another 1 point of bleeding this round.
So where do you go? Are you trying to lose the guy, or are you trying to get help?
No, I come out into the alleyway, and I just take a left.
Out into the street. I just take a left.
I just take a left and run as far as I can this round. I'm gonna look as I run down this street for some sort of institute or building that I feel if I collapsed on their front porch would patch me up, like an inn or a tavern or a barber shop or a temple or something like this.
You totally find a church.
I run to the church and just like throw myself on their doorstep in mercy.
Yeah, there's like a crowd of, there's a small group of people out front. Some in robes, some just finely dressed. You're in a delirious state, I think, right? And you just kind of go flop. You stagger however many 100 feet you can flop in a round, and you throw yourself at the mercy of God. Or whatever god Leon subscribes in. You can turn down the battle music, maybe find something tense. So we'll call him a Cyclops. I don't know. He had one eye and he was huge, and he broke a
good enough for me.
Broke a club over your head. So he doesn't pursue.
Okay.
And let's see what it takes to stop major bleeding. Is it
Cure light wounds or a successful intelligence check can reduce it to minor bleeding, I think? I don't know, you should double check it. I don't know.
You stop by cure light wounds, healing the wound is bound by an untrained character, makes an intelligence check. If he fails, if he succeeds, it's reduced to minor. What happens to minor bleeding? I think you can then just... Character can make a saving throw versus death. Okay, so one of these churchgoers can actually roll a charisma check to see if they. Roll a charisma check to see how many of them rush to your aid. The priests aren't going to let you bleed to death on their steps, but like there's these random like aristocrats or whatever that are attending church.
Right. And they
are they disgusted by your sight? Are they?
Yes, they're so disgusted by my sight.
Like, oh, don't bleed on me. What's wrong with him?
I'm probably like digging into my pockets with my one good hand and like letting coins fall through my fingers. Please, I'm dying.
Yeah. Up the steps. What's this commotion? And you see a robed father come. Light like reflecting off of the windows of the church and blinding you, backlighting this holy man. I don't know if Leon is seeing his maker for the first time, but the Holy Father comes to your aid or something like that. Roll initiative to see if you bleed before he gets to you.
Oh God. I guess that should just be a D10, but it's still a 10.
Yeah, you bleed out another D2 before the father is able to come to your aid, and he like, do you have any fabric available?
Just the clothes on my back.
I think he's got some sort of shawl or something that he removes, and God, I don't even like binds your shoulder to at least arrest the bleeding, reducing it to minor, which is once every 10 rounds or something. My son, what has happened to you?
A cyclops beat me with a big fucking stick, Father.
A woman over his shoulder.
Big goddamn
he's
stick.
Delirious. He came up frothing and bleeding. A madman. And eventually the father rouses some. That's the wrong word. Organizes some altar boys or whatever to help carry you into the temple itself, and I think they throw you onto some pews.
Yeah.
What are you carrying, wearing?
God. I have my clothes, my backpack with my spell book in it. No, that's not true. No, yes, it is true. I was about to drop my spellbook and roll up my sleeves, but we retconned that with the exchange of money instead. Okay, cool. So I have my backpack with my spellbook. I have a dagger, a water skin, and a sack in my backpack filled with silverware and goblets and the pommel of some lord's sword.
But it's in your backpack. I mean,
yeah, but it's like the only thing in my backpack.
Yeah. So you're coming to at this point. It's been a couple of minutes or something, but your wound is at least reduced to minor, and you're being dragged inside of this church and laid out on some pews. But you can act again without needing to roll for it. Do you just go with the flow? Do you let the
I want to keep my
the clergy
eyes peeled.
tend to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna let them do their thing. I think they're not mistaken. I think I am somewhat delirious at this point. But I'm also gonna keep my eye out for that dude. Is he showing up anywhere?
No, but I think this is probably a good spot for our break. Yeah. So we'll pick up with Leon in the House of God on the other side.
Alright. So you guys will go set up our break.
Bomb?